On this episode of the Infowars News Blitz, Spies with Snowden dead. Obama called for new approach on the NSA surveillance, and a dozen American officers are being purged. That and a lot more, so stay tuned. This is the Infowars News Blitz. Okay, let's get off this thing here, shall we? There's an article here from the BuzzFeed website, which is also linked by Infowars.com. The article is called American Spies with Edward Snowden Dead. And underneath it said, I would love to put a bullet in Snowden's head, one Pentagon official told BuzzFeed. Yeah, sure. Why? Because he blew your NSA spy grid wide open? But anyway. The article says here that Edward Snowden has made some dangerous enemies as the American intelligence community struggles to contain the public damage done by the former National Security Agency's contractor revelations of mass domestic spying intelligence operators has continued to see the in very personal terms against the 30-year-old whistleblower. The article goes on to say that one Army intelligence officer even offered BuzzFeed a chilling, detailed thread to see. I think if we had the chance, we would do it. We would end it very quickly, he said, just casually walking on the streets of Moscow, coming back from buying his groceries, going back to his flat, and his casually provoked by a passer. He thinks nothing of it at the time and starts to feel a little woozy, and then he thinks it's the parasite from the local water. He goes home and involuntarily, and the next thing you know, he dies in the shower. That is very scary. I mean, basically, the entire intelligence agency hates this guy now. All because he blew the whistle on a domestic spying grid. Yeah, sure. And we're being spied on. I mean, this guy's a complete hero, and Congress has already called him a whistleblower, a hero. I mean, basically, if it wasn't for him, nobody would know about any of this stuff. And basically, he did the right thing as well, but guess what? He also made a lot of enemies. But those enemies will pay in time. Lots of time. But if it wasn't for him, we would not be able to know about this. I mean, Alex Jones and the rest of the independent media has been talking about this for years now, and now it's finally come out. And to be honest with you, well, Snowden better watch his back, because technically, they might actually do it, because technically, they're really pissed off at him, and technically, you may want to watch your back, Mr. Snowden. If you're ever listening to this, just watch your back, because these guys don't play. They will literally put a bullet in your head. Seriously. Looks like the president is now having sex thoughts about the new approach on surveillance after Edward Snowden. The article from Forbes, which is also linked to Infowars.com, is titled, Obama called for new approach on NSA surveillance. Not new enough for critics. Article says that after 6 months after Edward Snowden began leaking the NSA secrets, President Obama has agreed that the way American spies needs to change. Yeah, sure, for the worse. But when it comes to the degree of that change, the White House has a long way to go towards pleasing its critics. It also goes on to say that basically is perfectly what am I looking for? Oh, here it is. The Civil Libertarian Electric Frontier Foundation, for instance, had called on the president to stop all mass surveillance of digital communications of both Americans and foreigners. Obama Obama's compromise that the data will only be used to surveil only those 2 degrees of perception for suspected terrorists instead of the current standard of the 3. That the use of the data would be subject to more balanced digital review, that the data has been held by an entirety other than the NSA, exactly where remains to be determined, and that the program be considered with great transparency didn't come closer to that demand. Demand my foot, my friend! He's lying again! The guy won't stop. I mean, they're still spying on everybody. And since this debate's not in the open now, I think we can all say that the president is a big fat, well, liar. He lies on NDAA, says he says he's not for it. He says he's not for it. He basically is for it. He said he wouldn't sign it. He signs it. I mean, basically, folks, quit being a bunch of morons. And, well, I won't use the word who I was going to use, but technically, stop being dumb. Please. We're in a lot of trouble. We don't need this type of crap now. And personally, if you ask me, I think we all may have to pay attention a little bit more. I mean, he is basically trying to get he is spying on everybody here. Foreigners and domestic people. Because basically they want to play God. And they will basically do so. If they don't say something about this. Alright folks, this is the last article of today. And this is an article from Infowars.com. Finally. The article is written by Michael Snyder. And it is titled, Why Are a Dozen of high-ranking officials being purged from the U.S. military? I don't know. Since Barack Obama has been in White House, as the article says, a high-ranking military officials have been removed from their position at a rate that is absolutely unprecedented. These things have gotten so bad that the number of retired generals are publicly speaking out about the purge of the U.S. military that they believe is taking place. I mean, basically, this article is going to be about how many purges have been for the military, how Obama's kicking everybody out. The fact is, I think I've heard about this before. There's what Obama is doing is kicking everybody out that won't basically shoot at American people. Because he wants to be a dictator, or he is one, or in the police state. But anyway, the article says that basically when he was growing, a former U.S. Navy person said that basically when he was growing up, his father was an officer of the U.S. Navy, and what was going on is right now absolutely crazy, especially during the time of peace. Is there a dislibrium attempt to reshape the military and remove those who don't adhere to the proper viewpoints? Does someone out there feel a need to get officers that won't cooperate out of the way? I mean, basically, to be honest with you, and I'm gonna be there's been a lot of purges ever since that dicey Air Force Base stuff. Nukes that were passing from Texas to North Carolina, and one of the senators there said that they're gonna be nuked and this, that, and the other. But if this has something to do with it, I gotta have a very serious feeling that basically this might be a tidbit of what's to come. I mean, basically there's like these tiny little surveys where they're going out to generals, and basically they're saying they will not shoot. I mean, they're saying they're fired on the spot immediately because they refuse to fire on Americans. I mean, basically, that's what's going to happen. I mean, Obama is trying to reshape the entire generals entirely. Because basically, most of the generals, I might have to say as well, are absolutely nuke generals as well. They had nuclear codes or whatever. So basically, they're getting their butts kicked out immediately. And technically, I think that basically he is trying to kick them all out, so he puts some really dumb people to let's do what he says. Well, that's all the articles I have for you today. If you'd like to learn more about the articles, please go to Infowars.com where you can find more about the articles. Oh, go to the link below and you can basically read them there. This is Infowars. I am the Info Gunman, and you have just been filled in with all the news that is happening today. Thank you.